He has these black moods. It's like he crawls into this dark cave inside his head, and no one can reach inside and pull him out. This is Aled describing how her husband woke with a start the morning before his 46th birthday. He mulled over his dilemma in the inky morning darkness, sitting on the edge of his bed, his head cupped in his hands. Aled tried to console him, rubbing his back softly. "You are a man of faith," she said. "Believe." Paulo is a devoutly religious man, the result principally of a drunken barroom brawl 16 years ago, when 3 men jumped him and beat him bloody. He went home to retrieve his gun. Aled confronted him as he searched for his pistol, bruised and bloodied and high on cheap whiskey, and told them that if he wanted to get his fool self killed, then that was his prerogative, but vengeance wasn't going to feed their children. And whether he came home that night or not, she was going to church the next morning, and maybe he should too. He did, and he hasn't missed a Sunday in years. The plates have been cleared from the table, and the family has moved on to the birthday cake, with vanilla frosting that is Paulo's favorite. With their children grown now, Paulo and Aled can foot the $25 a month tuition for a private Catholic elementary school for Marcos, Aled's 10-year-old nephew, whom the couple is raising because Aled's sister is disabled. Marcos usually does well in school, but he didn't on a recent test, and at Paulo's birthday gathering, Aled recalled what the boy said when she pressed him for an explanation. "I prayed, Auntie Aled," he said innocently, "but God didn't come through for me." Paulo laughs until tears well up in his eyes. His mood has lightened considerably since the tense moment with Jacqueline, now more than an hour ago, and he leans back in his chair, his legs crossed underneath the table, scraping icing from his paper plate. The conversation careens from family to men to street crime, to everyone's disappointment in Lula in his first year on the job. The expectation was that he would stand up to the World Bank and IMF and not fold like a house of cards. "That is not Lula. I think the U.S. kidnapped him and they found him an imposter to take his place," Paulo says. Talk of Lula leads to how few blacks are in top positions in his administration, and then to the racism of daily life here. When Aline lost her job as an emergency operator nearly 2 years ago, it took her a year of poring over the classified ads every Sunday to find a job. Black Brazilians say that the term "good appearance required" is a subtle code that they need not apply, but Aline, desperate for work, answered several of the ads anyway, unsuccessfully. Once she showed up for an interview and was met with a line of more than 24 women. After a while she had to use the bathroom, she said, and asked the only other black woman in line to hold her place. When she returned, the black woman was waiting alone. "They came out and took all the blondes," Aline recalled. "They told the rest of us to go home." Later, when I ask him about it, Paulo tells me it was at this point in the conversation that he decided what to do about financing for a new car. "I'm going to pray this evening and the first thing in the morning, and if it's not raining tomorrow when I leave for work, I will go ask Emilia to bless me and my family. I think Marcos had it right in asking God to come through for him. That's exactly what I am going to do. I have nowhere else to turn."